Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another WWE Champions video. And today I have another episode of the top 5 characters take 7-star. Today we are finally entering a new class. We're doing Showboat males today. This list is probably going to be the most subjective list so far, maybe in the entire series, just because Showboats are one of the most decked out characters in the game, probably the most decked out class in the game. So a lot of opinions can be made on this list. This list is probably very subjective, but keep in mind, it is my list. It is my opinion. Obviously, I'm here to give you advice on who I think you should take 7-star, and then for you to absorb that information and figure out for yourself what you want on your roster. And as always, in case you do watch this in the future, the last Showboat male that came out, I believe, is Mr. Iguana. So just keep that in mind in case you're from the future, a few months from now, where there is a new Showboat in the game that might be really, really good. Not on the list, though, because he doesn't exist as of recording. So with that stuff out of the way, we'll start with our honorable mentions, and then we will go to the actual top 5. Honorable mentions are in no particular order. Again, very subjective list, I think. But we're going to start with one I was really on the fence about here. I'm putting Sami Zayn, the Great Dudinator, as an honorable mention. I know some people might be like really not on the list. The reason why he is not on this list is just because I don't know if he's going to hit hard enough anymore. Like, I know he can hit, like, I don't know, maybe 300-400 million, I think still. But, like, compared to other characters on the list, I don't see him being a guy. I'm pretty sure Blue Thunder Bomb is the main way we're getting damage here. And then he decreases them. It's a pretty big increase, but it's just, to me, I don't see him being my favorite one out of all the Showboats in the game. So just right now, that's why I have him as an honorable mention. And he's still going to do good. If you take him 7-star, he'll still win. He's got a moment. He's got stuff. Plates, I think, are really just rage plate and stuff. So it's not like it's a hard plate to do. So not the worst plates to have on him, because they're pretty easy to get compared to some more harder plates that we're going to see later on the actual list. The second honorable mention also might come to a surprise. It's Dom. Dom was so close. I was so close to putting him on the list. I know he can do 400 mil, right? I know he can do 400 mil. He has the most health for a male in the game because of all the moments he's in. I only have one. I'm pretty sure he is in 3. He is in the Eddie Dom custody moment. He is in, I believe, the Joe Hendry WrestleMania moment. And then he's also in the Tekken moment. So 3 moments. I'll give him 50% more health. 150% more health to him is great. A lot of plate options. I like to run him as double rumble. If you have Dom's plate, that works too. If you have the anniversary plate with the Punk plate, that works too. Like, there's a lot of options here. You know, yellow, red is great. If you fight a striker, this is freaking fantastic, and he'll definitely do more than 400 mil then. Dom is fantastic. He also has a great hot tag. So, Dom, the only reason Dom didn't make the list is I think everyone else hits harder than him. But that's it. So, but I don't think any really others are as versatile and just, like, there's a lot he can do. So if you take him 7-star, don't be, like, take him 7-star if you want to take him 7-star, because he is fantastic. He will do pretty well for your roster. So, but he is an honorable mention just because I think every other character, maybe other than 5th, hits harder than him. So that's why he is an honorable mention. But oh, man, he is one of my favorites still in the game. He's so fun to play. He's so fun to play, but just overall doesn't quite make it. Alrighty, now we're on the actual top 5. We're going to start with number 1, and then we'll work our way down. Number 1 is going to be John Cena Hustle, Loyalty, Respect, SE. For a few reasons. Because I know a lot of people probably still don't have this guy. He is pretty rare still, to be honest with you. Well, actually, he was in the key pulls, and I pulled him out of the key. And I already had him, but I did pull him out. So maybe some people now have him. John has a moment. I don't think it gives him health. No, it does not give him health. But it does give him more gem and stuff. However, SEs have a easy one, was it Hainer? It costs 1 Hainer to buy. So it's extremely cheap. And it does give them 35% more health. 35% on a Showboat is still very, very valuable and very good. PG era might be a little tough to get a belt for, but you definitely can. The main reason why, though, he is number 1 is specifically because of his damage output. For anyone who doesn't know, this John can do a billion turn 1 pretty easily. So that's why he is on my number 1 here. And it's mainly because of this move. Bottom row pyro, and it makes red. So he does require a red Piper plate to really be number 1. But again, if you do have one, I have one. It's not on him. It might get moved over to him, but he is fantastic with it. And then obviously he increases red gem by 300%. So red Piper, he's red gem 300ing. He increases all of his damage again by another 200%. So it's actually red gem 500% built in with a red Piper plate. And this move, choose 7 to make into red. And this increased move damage. If you did not want to run this, you could run this 3 charge as well that chooses 7 and is a reversal. Either or really works. I know some people try to double down with this guy, which you definitely can because he does have a choose red. And you can also run an MP plate to have a break green gain red MP plate to also try and double down. And again, double downing with this means you're setting Piper off twice. So that's 1,200% red and a built-in 1,000% increase. This is why John's number 1 for this reason. I mean, one of the most damaging I think he might be the most damaging Showboat in the game. One other guy actually might beat him out here that's on the list, but for the most part, this is why he is my number 1. Also, he's getting 35% more health, which isn't nearly like Dom or anything, but still, that is a really good amount of it. And also, just looks cool. I do like both gears. They just look cool. So this John is going to put in work for you. And take him 7-star. You will definitely not regret him at all. All right. Number 2 on the list here is going to be Zombie Penta. Zombie Penta here. I do share the same belt with Dom. So he is also my double rumble guy. Now, Penta beats Dom out for a few reasons, and this is also why Penta's number 2. Specifically, if you have Penta with gear. Penta without gear, like mine, I wouldn't consider number 2, and heck, I think I would maybe even consider Dom better than Penta without gear. Just because he can't really fully get anything going for his actual big gem build. All color +4 is very important for the moveset we're going to be taking a look at, which is going to be this one right here. Gear makes this completely viable. Not whole board, but 30 multi of strength 3, obviously bow, sherry, whatever you want to put on that is going to make that, actually bow and sherry can be put on that for some vile multis. He's going to increase the strength of them by 4. He increases his yellow gem, his main color, by 90%, and then makes Whole board yellow. So he is putting on big multis and a lot of them. He's going to increase his main color by 90% and then make the whole board that color. And then obviously with my plates, I am running. He does it again. So let me just show you here. You would run Sherry. You would run Kofi. You could run Hogan, and then you can run Punk or Bo. And then it just depends on what you want here. So you can have 36 times 7s or whatever, right? But yeah, like he's going to have 30 times 7s. He's going to increase them by 4, so they'll go to 11s. And that's if you don't have Leo. Actually, at 7-star 2, you would have Punk and Bo. So you're getting best of both worlds on that. And again, increasing all of his gem, not all of his gem, but increasing his yellow by 90 and then making the whole board yellow. I think this is about a 600, maybe even more, maybe closer to 700 mil character, which is out freaking standing. And if you run this build and have his gear, he is only 1 reversal. It is just multi because he does not. He'll increase green MP, but there's no green MP, so it doesn't matter. And then this is a finisher, so that won't matter either. So he is also a 1 reversal character who's doing just exceptional damage. He's got a great moment that gives him more yellow and all gem, and he's getting 50% more health, as well as fantastic links with zombie and You're the Zombie, and is a hot tag. So, I mean, overall, this Penta just does a lot. If you have his gear, I put him number 2. If you don't, I do think the other characters on this list are better. And heck, I think Dom is probably better than Penta without gear. But if you have it all, Penta is a fantastic card. At number 2, that will definitely do some work on your roster. Number 3 here is also going to be a character that requires a bit, and that's going to be Hall of Fame. Not Hall of Fame. That's a completely different character. AJ Styles, the face that runs the place. Showboat AJ is another phenomenal card as well. AJ, though, does require some things that are a little bit harder to get, I would say. So one thing for sure is you wouldn't be running triple yellow, but you would be running the Juggernaut here that increases red gem. Here, let's just equip these for you. You're going to run the Rack Bomb, and then you run the Phenomenal Forearm. His reversal is pretty meh, but we don't really care about that because this is very low charge. Big gem increase, whole board red. It's pretty freaking good. And the great thing about this build as well, reversals are not really existent. It's really just Juggernaut and Leech, which are 2 reversals that you really don't see a lot of characters using. Like Leech Gem reversals, I mean, I'm sure there's some good characters. I think Lowick Grande is one of them and stuff. Juggernaut, there's like 2 or 3 people in the game that can reverse AJ then like that. So for the most part, AJ will not worry about reversals, so that's a good thing about him too. Here's the thing. 2 things I think he has to have. Here, I'm going to put a belt on him real quick so I can show you. He needs a certain plate in order for him, I think, to be in this conversation, to be in the top 3. And that is, I must have passed it. Yes, there it is. He needs Bombshell. If he has a Bombshell plate, he'll be fine because this is red gem 400 and then he'll break it and make 40 more red. This is what makes him like hit. And then obviously for a basic plate, I think I would just use his own plate that came out with him. Because just Juggernaut, red gem 75% and red move 75%. So not too bad. But yes, Bombshell plate I think is a required thing for him, as otherwise you're just missing so much for him. But on top of that, to be honest with you, this gear is really important as well for Red Gem 300, and his gear is really rare, and definitely not easy to get. So 2 things that are a lot harder to get, but if you have him, man, can he do a lot. 500 mil, I'd say, is a pretty easy thing for him at 7-star. He's going to gain a little bit of health back. He's low charge, not real any issue with reversals. So to me, he's really good. But for me and my roster, I don't have an extra bombshell because I really like Kelly, and I don't have his gear. So for me, he's not an option. But for you, that could be different, and that's why I put him at number 3. Number 4 is okay. Number 4 is an interesting one. I put Regal on here. I know a lot of people are like, is Regal still this relevant? Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, he is. I mean, I don't get me wrong. In real life, I absolutely love Regal. I think he's very underrated. In the game, though, my God, is he a freaking monster. So, I will say I don't have one here. We'll just go and show you. Regal does require a Piper plate. He does require a Piper to really get anything going. And to be honest with you, I will say I think he is a AJ Styles, but kind of worse because he does require a lot of rare stuff. But he needs the Piper plate in order to get moving, really. This is, I think, the build that most people will run him. It doubles down on the Piper. And these are just big multis as well. Tamatanga as well is really making this build, really making this build also worth it as well, because this is now whole board. This is almost whole board. But really what makes Regal is his gears. You need at least one for the MP. Obviously having both is better. But yeah, he does require at least a gear to me. At least, Tama, which isn't really that hard to get. But he does also require Piper, which isn't really that tough either. It's a little difficult just because a lot of people might want it and can use it, but Regal can use it very well. So he is one that definitely works. He hits for 1 billion, I would say. He probably does hit harder than John if you have everything. If you don't have everything and you just have like a 1-gear Regal, I do think he's still pretty close to John SE in terms of damage output. However, I personally think he's a little bit slower because he is a little bit more choosy, but that's really not a huge deal. And he can also kind of miss if the board isn't going his way, because this is only a choose 7 and that's not a choose 8. So there's no yellow down there. He actually has a little bit more struggle. I mean, obviously at 7-star, you could use a coach that'll give him +3 more yellow. And obviously, if you can, I would probably do that. But he does do really well. He is very good. Reversal, it's just pyros. So, because he's going to blow up the whole board. So there's no real multi-issue. John Showboat, as he does have a good chunk of reversal as he's pyro and increase all gems. So Regal really only has one issue. He's got great MP gear. He's got a lot of stuff with him on top of it, and he does insane damage. So unfortunately, that's why he is still so relevant. We have to talk about him. I know a lot of people might be against him. A lot of people might be like, yeah, he is great. He feels to me like Powerhouse KO. And when we get to Powerhouse ranking, we're going to have to talk about KO because, yeah, he's still kind of, I mean, heck, even Mutant Seth might be up there too. But yes, Regal is still very relevant. I put him 4 just because he is a little choosy and he does require those gears, I think, to really, at least one gear to really get him going. And that can be kind of hard to get. So, also, I think he's still pretty rare, Regal. Regal isn't the easiest character. I know some people that are like 17 mil talent, like higher than I am, and still don't have him. So he is not the easiest character just to get. But still, he is very meta relevant. And now, lastly, my number 5, I'm giving it to Joe. Again, Joe you might think, man, he's pretty low on this list, or you might think he's too high, and why is he even on the list? That's completely up to you. Again, subjective list. There's a lot of other Showboats that I had to keep in mind. But Joe is on this list just because his 3 charge ability is really, really good. However, he does require Purple Piper. Not having Purple Piper completely sinks him down. He does not get any great damage output then. However, with that, he's looking at about 500 mil as well at 7-star, I would say. About 450, 500 mil. So, to be honest with you, I think you can even swap Joe out for Dom if you really want to. But for the most part, he is still very viable. And another great thing I do like about Joe is you can run Woods and Luger here, and then I run double -2. What does this do? Well, guess what? You're -4. Oh, most people aren't turn 1. But this also means if they -4 you back, you still have all 3 of your moves. So if you're someone who has to go to turn 2, he's actually a really good character to do that, as -4ing you doesn't do anything. -4ing them might mean they're not turn 1, so if you do go to a turn 2, they won't be hitting you. So I do also like Joe for that reason. But yes, he does require a Purple Piper, but really, that's all he requires. Also, he is another character who has a 50% health moment, as he is in his own moment. I also forgot to mention Showboat AJ, who's number 3, also has health moments as well. I think he's in 2. I think he's in Joe's, and I think he's in John Cena 2008 Royal Rumble moment. I think he is also in that. So AJ is also at 100% health, so right behind Dom. So AJ will have a lot of health, and Joe will also have 50% more health. So very healthy characters too, to be honest with you. So that is my list of the top 5 Showboats to take to 7-star. Obviously, there were some characters on this list that I really kind of were thinking about. Like Gunther, I still think is pretty great. Taker, I still think is kind of pretty good. Drew, I think is still pretty good. Mark, I think, can do actually a good chunk of stuff for you. There's probably some people I don't have, for the most part, too, that are probably really viable. Let's look here. Dudinator. Possibly We the One, but I don't think that'd be very good. So that is going to be the list. Again, probably the most subjective one so far, just because Showboat is just such a decked class. It's really hard to make a decision, and honestly, this was really tough to make a choice in terms of who I think was number 1 to number 5. However, I will say, John was actually the easiest character to decide as number 1 for this list, because John is just that good. He hits so hard. Some people might think, well, about Regal? I mean, yeah, sure. Regal can hit pretty close to him, if not more. Maybe like 200 mil more. But John has lower MP. He also really only requires a red Piper, which is still very rare, but, you know, Regal, I will say, does need a yellow Piper, which really isn't as rare, but his gears are also pretty difficult to get. And also just Regal in general is not seen very often in loots and stuff, so he is also not the easiest character to get. So just keep that in mind. So, to recap, our 2 honorable mentions in no particular order was Dominic Mysterio and Sami Zayn, the Great Dudinator. And our top 5 Showboat list at number 1 was John Cena, Hustle, Loyalty, Respect, SE. Number 2 was Penta, Zombie. Number 3 was AJ Styles, the face that runs the place. Number 4 was William Regal, Blue Blood. And number 5 was Joe Hendry, I believe. So that is going to be my list. Again, next one we'll be taking a look at Showboat females. So get ready for that. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you in the next video.